Hey family, Dad here. Hope you're having a great day. It is a sunny day here, and I just wanted to share kind of my grandma passed away last week at 101 years old. Now, I haven't had much communication with her at all, probably even the last 20, 25 years of my life. So she lives in Japan. I live here, obviously, in Washington State. My mom lives up in Canada. Communication has been very sparse. I hear kind of updates from my mom, just how my grandma was doing in Japan. But in the last 10, 15 years, at least 10 years, she's been in a nursing home in Japan. It all started with just a fall. Older people, they get more frail, and when they fall, trying to heal, it takes a while. She ended up being in a nursing home and was there for a long time. Now, growing up, I would see definitely my grandma a lot more. I was growing up in Canada. When I say a lot more, I mean probably about like once every couple of years. And we would talk to her on the phone as well. And being raised in a family where predominantly Japanese was spoken, I understood it a lot more and I spoke it a little more as well. And as you get older, when I went to college down in Arizona, things slowly kind of grew apart where I never really spoke with my grandma. I didn't speak the language anymore. There was definitely discourse there. And obviously just her living on the other side of the world, me living here in Washington State, it was tough. And then when I had kids, my two kids growing up, my grandma actually lived in Canada for a little bit. We got to see her, maybe once or twice a year for a brief period when my kids were little. And when I say they were little, probably before 5 years old, up through maybe the early parts of elementary school. And then my grandma moved back to Japan. She just wasn't happy living in Canada for whatever reasons. She was much more comfortable living in Japan. And so again, I never really saw her or heard much from her. Again, it's just all from hearsay from my mom, how she was doing. Yeah, that's how it happened. It's just, she took a fall and ended up being in a nursing home. And she's been in a nursing home ever since until last week when she passed away. Now, I did see her, I think back in 2018 at the nursing home. The kids and I went to Japan with my mom to go see the sights and sounds of Japan, and we got a chance to see my grandma, and it was pretty emotional. I haven't seen her in a long time, and just seeing her in a frail state was really, really emotional at that moment. But she seemed like she was in good spirits for a person that was in her 90s. She looked, mobile enough. She had kind of a mild onset of dementia, but other than that, I guess, what do you expect from a 95-year-old? And just looking back, just been thinking a little bit about my grandma passing away. It's just, I think the biggest regret was just maybe not learning Japanese so I could communicate a little more with her and this family back home. When I went back to Japan in 2018, it was very cool just to kind of communicate with some of my cousins and things like that. One of my cousins spoke really good English. I wasn't expecting that. But we just don't keep in touch. It's just, I had her email address and we just never followed up. And, obviously that's part of my responsibility. But, again, it's just we're in the other parts of the world, I feel. And, there's always ways around it now with technology. But I think that my biggest regret was just I wish I, spoke Japanese, spoke it fluently so I could at least have communication with her regularly. And for me, it's just with my kids, I just want to have that cohesiveness with them, that close relationship, close bond where we can talk regularly about anything, be okay with what we are saying. That's one of the things I do wish was just learning Japanese so I could communicate more with not only my grandma, but with my extended family back home in Japan. So tell me your thoughts. Have you had kind of a grandparent or even a mom or a family member that, passed away and you wished, you would have communicated with them more or had, I guess, a stronger relationship, stronger bond with them? Comment, like, subscribe. I would definitely appreciate it. So that's all I got. I'll see you all at the next video.